Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to a podcast. Hopefully, I got everything sorted out from yesterday. As I still want to apologize for everyone that was watching the podcast yesterday, and the audio just went boom, and there was this loud ass pitch noise, and so I'm so sorry for it. If it happens again on this podcast. I pretty much know what to do. It had to do with the audio and everything like that. The audio crashed and it just had like this really high screeching pitch sound. And I know it had to be very annoying. I went ahead and re-edited yesterday's podcast, and so I gotta like finish making it go live on YouTube. It cuts out the last like 10 minutes of the podcast that had all that screeching noise. So hopefully that doesn't happen in this episode. Fingers crossed. But anyways, yeah, so we got lots to talk about in today's episode. It's simulcasting to both of my YouTube channels because it does concern the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. And I think people are concerned about this one topic, which is pricing. You know, we're right around the corner, right? Today is September 24th. We're not far away from Made by Google events. Welcome in. Appreciate you for coming in. Good morning. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about the Pixel 8 pricing. That is probably one of the biggest things that people want to know. And it looks like that there is a price increase on the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. And I'm going to give my thoughts on how I feel about that. On top of that, talking a little bit about Mobile X. And, you know, it doesn't get much coverage on the channel. And so I wanted to go ahead and talk about Mobile X and just kind of get everybody, you know, to know what this brand is and what it's mainly for. So I'll talk a little bit about that, and then just, you know, whatever comes along the way as we go through talking about tech and everything like that. So if you're on the podcast channel, Aloha Android, welcome in. If you're on the dedicated Pixel channel, Aloha Pixel, welcome into as well. Simulcasting to both YouTube channels, killing two birds with one stone. So I'll go ahead and get right into it. And let's go ahead and do the share real quick. But okay, so this is actually from 9 to 5 Google. I'll put the link in the chat so people can follow along with it. Don't move at dogs. It's early in the morning and they bark at everything, including the pigeons flying around outside. And then there's a cat that likes to torment them too as well. So anyways, yeah, so there's a link to the page that I'm referencing, so to cite my sources. And this is 9 to 5 Google, and they pretty much go in on it. Pixel 8 and 8 Pro get slight increase in the US, available in store October 12th. So October 12th is when the Pixel 8 will actually be available to order and to pick up in store. So that's 8 days after the launch event. So first of all, we got some news on the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro as far as the official colorways. I'm not a stickler for colors. Like I said, it's nice, you know, when you get something that's more personable to you, right? You can pick the peony rose color. You can pick the gray color. You can pick the obsidian color for the Pixel 8. They got the sky blue, the porcelain, and obsidian on the 8 Pro. So you can either go with any one of those colors, but colors don't really make the phone. I mean, it just, you know, makes it more personable to you, something that you would enjoy to use. But we would say that, you know, off key, the most important part is the user experience. I've always been on that level where it's like user experience is going to trump everything that has to do with the phone. Good morning, Gene. Welcome in. Appreciate you for coming in. If the audio crashes, I just want to give this out. If the audio crashes like it did yesterday, I apologize and I will stop the stream immediately. I watched the replay and I did do an edit on yesterday's podcast and I have to get that going live. Should we buy Pixel 6a? Does it make sense? The Pixel 6a is still worth it today. I am using my Pixel 6a as my daily driver device. I put my Pixel 7a away. It just makes more sense, you know, just because, I mean, when it comes to the Android experience, it's pretty much very similar. There's really not much of a huge difference at all whatsoever. You're getting some slight differences, obviously, you know, in the performance of the Tensor G1 versus the G2. But that's not a drastic difference where, you know, you're just definitely going to see some sort of like performance hindrance. So they're very on par with each other as far as just one being a generation older. The cameras are decent on the Pixel 6a. I've taken some pretty good photos and videos, and that's on the dedicated Pixel channel. So if you want to look at some of those photos and stuff that I've taken and made a vlog out of, definitely check it out so you can see how the camera performance is. And battery is a beast on the Pixel 6a, especially if you're on Android 14 QPR1. Then yeah, you're definitely going to experience better battery performance out of the Pixel 6a. So if you want to get the 6a, why not? You know, I mean, I would never tell anyone to spend more money than what they need to in getting a device. Now, if you want something that's going to have a bit more longevity, then yeah, the Pixel 7a is going to be your answer right there. Does it heat up? No, mine doesn't heat up. It hasn't heated up ever since moving it away from Android 13 to Android 14. So that was rectified with the Android 14 update. But okay, so back into the subject of the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro and the pricing and everything like that, right? So like I was saying, we have these new colors, and some people are kind of talking about that, but I think the most important part to focus here on is the pricing, right? Ever since the Pixel 5 launching at a $699 price tag, going forward, we got shocked. You're very welcome, no problem. We got shocked when the Pixel 6 was launched, and the Pixel 6, the base model Pixel 6, launched at a $599 price tag. So we were like blown away by that pricing. Like, whoa, you know, like we're getting, you know, in-house Google-made chip. We're getting, you know, a reset to the design, refresh to the cameras. You know, we got all these things with the Pixel 6, right, and the 6 Pro, and we were just blown away that the pricing was, you know, $599 for the base model, 128 gig storage, and then of course for the 6 Pro was $899 price tag. So we're like, oh, you know, this is cool, you know, like, hey, great, you know, and I feel like that was responsible for why Google just really got people's eyes looking at them, you know, and I'm talking about the non-techies and the non-nerds, right? Nerds and techies know what a Google Pixel device is, but for the longest time, the everyday consumer heard about the Google phone, but wasn't all too interested because, of course, you know, Samsung casting a big shadow on the Android space that definitely kind of like held it underwater just a little bit. But ever since the pricing, people were just like, hey, you know, instead of me spending so much money on a Samsung, you know, I can get a really good experience from what I'm hearing with the Google Pixel, and it's, you know, $200 cheaper. So that was the Pixel 6, right? And then we were very skeptical about the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, if they were going to repeat the same pattern. Come Pixel 7 Pro launch, same pricing, $599 for the base model and $899 for the Pro model, starting at 128 gig storage capacities. So we were just like, okay, we're starting to see this trend, right? We're like, okay, well, you know, Google is going to do this. They're going to give us, you know, flagship specifications, really hard at work with AI integration, and it's not going to break our wallets the way that, you know, other flagship Android devices are. So we have become used to already, right? We've become used to this $599, $899 price tag for the base and Pro models. But it looks like that Google went ahead and increased that amount. And yeah, so I'm going to be getting your guys' inputs and thoughts on this exactly right now when we go through it. So feel free to chime in on it. Nothing is taboo here. Just keep it specifically to, you know, tech and whatever else, right? So this article from 9 to 5, Google just kind of goes in on the same things that I just spoke about, even mentioning the $599 price tag, which was a full $200 less than the Galaxy S23. They talk about the 7 Pro, which was an $899 price tag, which is $300 less than the S23 Ultra, right? So we had some cost savings there. But here's where things get interesting, where it goes within the Pixel 8 series, though. I've learned that Google will be increasing the price on both devices in the US market. So this kind of just comes in at $699 for the Pixel 8 and $999 for the 8 Pro. So they're taking it back to the Pixel 4 and 4 XL pricing, kind of. Well, sort of, slightly. I mean, it's not really close to it because $699 was less than the Pixel 4. So like the Pixel 8 will cost about the same price as the Pixel 5 did at launch. The Pixel 8 Pro is going back to the Pixel 4 XL pricing, and that's a bit concerning, considering what we're getting, right? They go on to talk about, like how the Pixel 7a saw an increase of $50, which, the Pixel 7a launched at $499, where the Pixel 5 launched the Pixel 7 launched at $599, so $100 difference between the A series model and the flagship model. Whereas we were used to, the Pixel A series being much cheaper, right? With the most cheapest A series device launched was the Pixel 4a, launched at $349, and everyone was like really, really on that one. It was a banging phone. The only problem with the Pixel 4a was that it wasn't future-proof. It wasn't 5G capable. If you wanted a 5G capable, you had to get the Pixel 4a 5G, and that was a bit more in price. But the Pixel 4a was the cheapest Pixel A series device ever released by Google. Because the original Pixel 3a, the one that started it all, was launched at a $399 price tag, so $50 more. They dropped it $50 less for the 4a, and then it started to climb back up in price, right? With the Pixel 5a, what was that one? That was launching at, I want to say it was $449. So they kind of went up to like the $450 mark with the 5a going forward. The Pixel 6a was $449 as well at launch. 7a launched at $499. And, a lot of people, hey, again, Dang, welcome in. A lot of people would say that, the 7a had a decent reason to increase by $50 because they added in, wireless charging. They added, face recognition unlock, like features like face recognition unlock. I don't think that should be something that would add on an extra couple of dollars to a pricing, because that's a software thing. The Pixel 6a, I can almost guarantee you with a teardown it can support the face recognition unlock, right? It's just was never implemented in, and I'm gonna go on a whim and say that had to do with the Tensor G1 chip. Probably that the Tensor G1 chip could not support it without eating up so much battery to do it, or causing some sort of performance interference. So with that being said, that's why we didn't get face unlock on the Pixel 6, 6 Pro, or the 6a. But anyways, yeah, they increased the price by $50, so we launched at $499 for the Pixel 7a, and so they're thinking that this trend is going in on the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro, increasing the price by $100 on the Pixel 8 and by $100 on the 8 Pro. What do you guys think about that? Go ahead and cast in your thoughts on that, because to me, that, in my opinion, now I'm going to give my opinion here. My opinion, this is going to hurt Google's reputation right off the start. I can almost see it already that it's going to cause some issues with some people, because some people get stuck in the ways, right? Like if Pixel 7, Pixel 6 were priced at $599, there are those out there that are going to expect it to stay that price, going to the Pixel 8 series, going to the Pixel 9 series, and so on. The increase in price, it just stirs the pot. And everyone just kind of like weighs in. Some people will be okay with it. They'll be like, okay, it's an additional $100. What are we getting for the additional $100? What has changed in the Pixel 8 that the Pixel 7 and 6 does not have? And while there may not be a drastic change as far as like the software experience, the user experience, right? Maybe just minor incremental bump from the Pixel 7 to the Pixel 8. I'm thinking that the reason that this price increase, if it is true, sits in at a $699 price tag for the Pixel 8 128 gigabyte model, is the fact that it's got 5 years of software support. Remember, with the Pixel 8 and going forward, the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro will get 5 OS updates, not just 5 years of software updates where it's like security patches and pixel drops, but 5 years, 5 new Android versions to it. It's going to get that in layman's terms. It's going to get the 5 new versions of Android. So launches at Android 14. That means the Pixel 8, its cutoff will be when it lands on Android 19. And does that justify a $100 increase? Um, Considering the fact that they're gonna have to have manpower on this to continuously provide the updates and not just some bullshit updates where it's just like, oh, let's just get it to Android, 15. Let's get it to Android 16, But to make sure that these software upgrades is going to bond well with the device, okay? Because by the time that the Pixel 8 has seen its last share of software updates, will already should be on the Tensor G8 chip. If Google continues to go that route and continuously wants a chip in-house. No one can predict the future. Google can still want to build its own in-house processing chip, or they may just, fall back to Qualcomm. I mean, you just never know where these companies go with this. So with the Pixel 8 being at an increased price of $100 more than what it costed, being $699, being $999 for the Pro model base. What does that spell for the Pixel 8 series next year? Because that is the targeted device that I truly do want to get is the Pixel 8A. That's what I want to get. I know that my wife, when I showed her that there's a peony rose color Pixel 8, she's already looking into that. So the Pixel 8 that I do get may be in the pink color, and of course, it's not going to be my device because as I review it, I will give it to my wife once I'm done reviewing it. And of course, she'll let me take the phone from her for a moment to just do a quick video on it on the Pixel channel. So there's no problems right there. And I'll probably just stick with my Pixel 7a until the Pixel 8a comes out. That's the one that I want to get, which will be next year in 2024. But when we get to that point, so now I'm kind of concerned about the 8A series. What is that going to cost in pricing, right? Because if it was $499 for the Pixel 7a and there was a price increase on the 8 series, makes me think that the Pixel 8a may cost about $549 for it. And if it's getting to that point, it's getting into that territorial point where the 6 and Pixel 7 launched at a $599 price tag. Again, for the 8A to justify another price increase in the A series lineup would mean that they would have to do some drastic changes to the A series. Now, if they bring in glass rather than polycarbonate that they've been working with, or this founded Glastic style that they've been doing where it's plastic but feels like glass, if they actually change it towards glass, then there would be no point of the 8A coming out. And then on top of that, there's already rumors saying that the A series is done, that Google is not going to do the A series devices anymore. And if they intend to actually do that and send the Pixel A series to the Google graveyard, that's a hell of a big mistake for them to do. Because there are people who must buy the most premium out there. I'm not judging, so don't think I'm judging people. But there are people who are just like, my phone needs to feel like it costs $10,000. And so they'll go and they'll buy the Pro model. It's got to be made of glass and some premium material. It's got to look gorgeous to the eye. They will go and do that. They don't care. They got money to burn. They absolutely don't care. I mean, people have gone in on those who have said, I got the Pixel Fold, and they were like, whoa, it's almost $2,000. It's not worth it. But that person that bought it don't care. They make the money. They work a job. They, have their own house, car, family, and everything. They got $2,000 to burn. They will go and do it just to have it, and we have people that make purchases that way. We have people that are budget conscious, like myself, that's got to make a dollar stretch, So whatever I can do, if there's something out there that's beneficial in pricing for me, I'm more than likely going to gravitate towards that, which is why that, my target is the Pixel 8a. The problem with Google is still just fighting to get market share at this point. The biggest appeal of these phones was the price. You need to keep the margins lower to increase the market share. And is that 5OS update thing even confirmed? Yes, it's confirmed. The only article I saw was very loosely sourced, didn't even say where the source was coming from. If the charging was a little faster, or if the charger was in the box or something, I would be a little more open to the price. Yeah, no. All fair, good points, Michael. And I mean, I would believe that it is confirmed, but you know what? I could be wrong. But with the five software updates, I would say we'll find out on the 4th, right? The absolute confirmation when it comes down to these things is at the Made by Google event, right? Like we've heard that there was a jade color Pixel 8, and then now they're saying that they have the official colors and there's no jade color, but we'll have to see. Because they could throw out a jade model at the October 4th event. So all that will come at the October 4th event. We'll have to see, but I am more on the 90% sure that's exactly where they're going to go with it, because Samsung has kind of beaten them out on software updates, right? And software updates is probably one of the biggest things that people are kind of like upset with Google about, especially because of the Pixel devices, how we've had delayed software updates or security patch updates. We're supposed to be getting them every first Monday of the month, and sometimes they've been delayed by 2 weeks. That's one of the things that people kind of go in on. And if I was head of a development team for the Pixel devices, and I was to peruse through the Webernet and see that was like the biggest complaint from a lot of consumers, that's something that I would address. And since it was thrown out there that it looks to be getting 5 years of software updates, tells me that it's not a thing that's too far out of Google's hands to do. They make the phones, they make the software, so they can actually make it to where it would support 5 years. Another thing is to make the minimum storage 256 gigabytes. But for me, I would rather just grab a Pixel 7 or 7 Pro on the resale market, literally less than half the price. I mean, I would say that they would just need to have different storage options. Like, there are some people that don't really need 256. Now, if you're saying like, $699 for a 256 gig, yeah. But there's still some people that can deal with 128. But I know what you're saying, right? Is give more storage without changing the price. Absolutely. Because if you were to go to Pixel 7 or 7 Pro at a resale right now, because the price is definitely going to drop on those devices, especially when the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro launches. Price drop for the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, you can probably get a 256 storage model at what you would pay for maybe like the 128 base, or maybe a little bit less than that. So yeah, definitely. As far as the market share for Google Pixels, I mean, there's a lot of statistics showing that Pixels market share is growing. It is growing, but again, you and I both know that has to do with the fact that the price of these devices at launch was $599 and $899 for them, right? Which was fairly cheaper than their counterpart Samsung devices or even iPhones. That's what they had going for them, was a price. So it's a shame to see like they would think now is the time to go ahead and increase the price of these phones and get it out there. But you know what? Like, I know like the Pixel fanatics are going to buy this phone no matter what. I know that the techs and nerds are going to buy this phone no matter what, because obviously, they know what a Pixel can do. There's a lot of cool things that's coming to these Pixel devices. One of them I did mention at the end of yesterday's podcast before that whole blowout of the audio that killed everybody's ears, including mine. I talked about how, they're implementing a new security feature within Google Pixel devices, not the binary transparency thing, but the whole find my device even though your phone is powered off or out of battery. That's one of the things I think it's like really cool that's coming to Google Pixel devices that they've been talking about over the past couple of weeks. It's apparently there's supposed to be this way where your device in low power mode is able to use low powered Bluetooth to make and establish a type of connection in order for your device to be found, even if it's powered off or if it's ran out of battery and it's dead from battery, right? You may not be able to launch the phone and have all these internal components start sapping power from the battery, but the Bluetooth antenna is able to do that without the phone needing to be on. And so I think that's kind of cool. There's some caveat things about it, but like I said, I've been doing my research to get all the info on that. And when I have it, I will talk about it in another dedicated podcast. Although I guess the Pro model's going to stay the same price, and it's just a Pixel 8 that's going to cost more. I'm seeing conflicting information. No, the Pro model is supposed to have been increased by $100 too. So $699 for the Pixel 8 and $999 for the Pixel 8 Pro. And this was just tossed by 9 to 5 Google. Like I said, we have all these things that are out here on the website. They say this, they say that, but then we really don't know until they say it at at Made by Google event, right? So it ain't confirmed really until the fat lady sings. Is my always been my thing to kind of look at it. So we'll have to see, but yeah, there's a lot of cool things that's coming to the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. I don't know if it justifies $100 increase on the pricing on both base models, including the storage capacity models. The higher you go, of course, like $799 will be for the 256 on the Pixel 8, and $1,099 for the higher storage capacity on the 8 Pro from the base model, right? So as you increase the storage amount, it will get pricier and pricier. So to me, that's very sad. In my opinion, it's sad. Let me get over here now. The weather's starting to really get to me. The weather's starting to get to me. Let me know how this camera is actually doing. Today, I'm using the Galaxy A53 as a webcam. So yeah, let me know if it's doing a decent job. I still feel like the Pixel 5 did a better job as a webcam. I'm probably gonna but there's an issue with it, so I'm gonna sort that out later on and fix it with the Droidcam app on Windows and get that fixed so I can use it as my webcam. Right now I'm using my Galaxy A53, so hopefully it's doing okay. Excuse me one moment. The audio will be on, but I'm gonna turn the camera off for just a sec. Like the weather is changing rapidly. It is. It is changing rapidly, and that has to do with El Nino. You think they will buy the Pixel 8 at an increased price? I think they will. You know what? Like we've always done these video episodes. If the audio is from my microphone, just the video feed is from the Galaxy A53. But we've always do these videos about price increases, changes, to flagship phones, right? And while we can sit here and say oh yeah, majority of people are going to be upset. Yes, they will be upset. But there are people that are going to be like, screw it, I'm still going to buy it. You know what I mean? To say the price increase would only have 10 people line up to buy the phone, that's ludicrous. There's still going to be a mass amount of people that's going to buy this thing, including a lot of YouTubers or tech content reviewers are going to buy this thing. I don't think that the YouTube, the Team Pixel partnership program is even a thing anymore. I think that was a trial run for so many years on the Pixel devices to try to get more people talking about it. But at this point right now, because of the increase in market share, I feel like that Google kind of took a step back, and they may not just be adding people to Team Pixel and then handing them phones to review and stuff like that. I think the top people, those that get millions of views, like Marquez Brownlee and Unbox Therapy and the Unlocker and Siobhan Salmon, those guys will get it. They'll get a phone sent to them to review. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully this Team Pixel partnership program still goes, even if I'm not part of it. I do want to see BTech get a Pixel 8 Pro. I want to see Lady Red's Tech Review get one. I want to see their input and thoughts, because they're more down to earth and they're not so focused on making it so commercial like you're watching TV. When you see the reviews, they want to tell you everything about the phone, and that's the type of review videos I like to watch. So yeah, I hope that they don't, because we need SMT to get his Pixel 8 Pro. So kind of switching tracks a little bit, I saw something on Twitter yesterday, and I'm going to try to log into my Twitter, and I'll share my Twitter feed if I can find it. If it's still there, then yeah, we're good. I can show this, but kind of a little bit concerning. I saw a tweet that was tweeted out, and said person retweeted, and yes, I still call it Twitter. I know some people are like X, it's x.com, it's this and that and the third. I don't care. It was Twitter when it started. It's Twitter to me today. I'm seeing if I can find it, and this is one of the crazy things. Has to do with the iPhone 15. I don't remember what particular model it was, if it was the 15 Plus, or if it was one of the Pro models. But it showed that, I got some, I'm reserved. I got some opinions about this type of stuff, but they showed the they showed the iPhone 15, basically the back housing cracked under a bend pressure. I'm just trying to see if I can find that tweet. so I can show it here on the screen. But nonetheless, I saw this and I was like, okay, yes. One of the big selling points, at least for me, at least in regards to the iPhone 15, is that it's a different backing now. It's more easier to replace the back glass on an iPhone 15 series. And I think that's great because, I have my iPhone 10s and it's skinned because the back of it is cracked. It's shattered, spider cracked all the way up the backing of this thing. And if I wanted to get this fixed, they're literally going to take every hardware component inside this thing, outside of it, and give me a new housing and put everything in, and then seal the screen back on top of it. Right? You can't just take the glass part off and replace it. So they made it a lot more easier to do that with the iPhone 15, and people are going in on it. They're like, hey, this is a marketing thing. This is they make it easy to break, so you have to go in and get your back glass repaired. And I'm like, well, yeah, of course it's gonna be more. You're going to be spending more money on it, obviously, because that depends on you, right? Like that type of statement where they're like, yeah, this is a marketing plan for Apple to make more money because they're hoping, that you break the back of your phone quite often. So you have to go in and get it repaired. First of all, I can't find a tweet. It's like, I'll be searching on this thing forever. So can't find it. But anyways, first of all, let me just make something very clear to the tech universe. Okay. Nobody gets a phone fresh out of the box and the first thing they're going to do is start doing this and trying to bend the thing. Okay. That's for one. All right. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend certain generations. I grew up in the 90s. Baggy clothes was my thing. Today, I don't wear giant baggy pants like Jinko jeans, Menace pants, and all that stuff. Elephant jeans. I don't wear those. But, like my shorts, my pants, they're loose on my legs. They're not skin tight. But I know today's generation of men wear very tight pants. Okay, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not putting anybody down, right? There is a slight possibility that when you put your phone in your back pocket and you sit down, or you put your phone in your front pocket and you're walking, it may cause that pressure and it may crack the back of the phone. It may not. Like I said, I don't know because I don't wear very tight jeans. Okay, I need my nuts space to breathe. I can't have my nuts so pressed up against my body. That just feels odd to me. But I want to say this though. Okay, most people tend to buy a case. They tend to buy extra accessories for their device, especially if they're dropping big bills on a phone. They want to be able to protect it. There are hardly anyone that I see in my city, and I live in like the 5th largest city in the United States. Hardly anyone that has right now an iPhone 14, 14 Pro, or even the new 15 if they ordered one, that's going to be walking around with the phone butt naked. Like they go and they buy cases, and then they go online to buy cases from some of the top case selling companies like Mouse, Spigen, or they head over to like Arizona Mills, which is a mall, and they got those phone kiosks where they have those people that sell phone cases, screen protectors, etc. Right? They even have like little lanyard type cases, all these little funky stuff that they sell just to accessorize your phone and make it personable to you. So I see a lot of people that go and do that. I don't really see anyone rock a phone naked. I get eyes stared at me when I walk around with the Pixel 6a and there's no case on it, and then people put a case on it, man, that thing's gonna break. And I'm like, it's not glass, this is plastic. It feels like glass, but no, the Pixel 6 and the 7 that I have, those are glass, and yes, they have cases for them. Yeah, I don't think anyone's really going to be rocking their iPhone 15, brand spanking new iPhone 15, without a case to protect it, so at least there's some sort of defense against drops and everything like that, especially those that buy the OtterBox cases for like $60. I mean, they're investing a hell of a lot of money into that to protect that phone. So, but the outcome result is that it's not going to be, the back is not going to be breaking so quickly like these people are just weighing in on. Like, yes, if it is fragile, I get it. It is fragile, okay? Apple shifted to a new way of constructing the iPhone, making the back glass more easier to replace. Why? Because over the years, that's one of the things that has been, been plaguing iPhones. I can't tell you guys how many iPhone users I see on a day-to-day basis walking, and they have a very similar spider cracked iPhone. I actually have conversations with people, and they see my iPhone, and they're like, "Oh, what did you do to it?" And I told them I put a skin on it. I got a skin from Dbrand, and I skinned it. They're like, "Oh, it looks nice with the gold," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's because the back is cracked." And then I show them the Apple logo. I don't know if it'll show so well on this camera, but you can kind of see there's all kinds of lines running through the Apple logo, and that's just because it is cracked, really cracked. It's still usable, and that's why I haven't really stressed myself to upgrade to a newer iPhone or anything like that. Eventually I will move up to something. Maybe I'll move up to a 13, an iPhone 13, or maybe an iPhone 14. This depends on the price and if I have the money for it. Right? Again, everything with me is about money. I make a dollar stretch, so obviously I got to make sure that everything is good. I don't buy expensive things if I'm behind on bills, which I am. Just like majority of America is like slightly behind on their bills, just because everything costs so much these days. So yeah, once I'm clear on my bills and I have the extra money, yeah, I'll buy me an updated iPhone. But my iPhone XS is on iOS 17, and I didn't even check to see if it got another one, because I'm seeing people say that they got iOS 17.1. So I'm wondering if there was a bug issue that Apple put out another software update immediately to fix that. So check right. Oh, yeah, there is. iOS 17.1. I didn't even see that. So I'm going to update it right now. I'll let that update while I'm podcasting. Yes, I do rock an iPhone. I do have it for reasons. 2 reasons why. 1, because I want to stay hip to the fact of what's going on with iOS and subtle changes. That's 1, to compare it to Android. 2, my sister uses an iPhone, and so does my nieces and nephews out there in Hawaii. And so I accommodate to them, makes it easier for them to contact me. They can contact me through FaceTime. Whereas, my friends and family here that rock an Android, which is my daily driver, they can contact me through Meets, formerly known as Duo. All right. Anyways, yeah. So if you have an iPhone 15, don't put a lot of stress on it. Don't break the back of your phone. Don't try to test this to see if this is real. Just take it as real, but it's not as fragile as I wouldn't call it as fragile as people are saying it is. I would just say that it's common sense. Glass cracks when you try to bend it. Simple as that. On my Pixel 7, I'm pretty sure that I can crack the back of it. If I really put enough pressure to bend that thing, I'm sure I could do the same thing. All right, so kind of switching gears here now. We're going to be talking about Mobile X, and I really feel like that, the people that don't use a lot of data away from home, or they're always on Wi-Fi, is definitely going to benefit from this. This will definitely be the money saver for a lot of people, especially today with everything costing so much more. Gas went up, all these things went up. So Mobile X is going to be one of the best ways to save money on mobile phone services. I've talked about this countless times before, so I love their ad, no more limits to unlimited. Yeah. Now, of course, people will generally judge a phone service plan based upon the unlimited plan, because everyone's been conditioned to just get unlimited, so you have a safety net and don't got to worry about how much data you're using. But for those people, especially, like, this would be perfect for somebody who's like frugal with their money, but also OCD, because you can see in time what you're using. Okay, so first of all, the Mobile X website did update from what it used to be months ago. We got more information kind of put in, just to kind of help you out and kind of give you some talking points, let you know what you're using, all this stuff. And then they have this little thing right here. The truth about those unlimited data plans. So-called unlimited plans aren't truly unlimited. They have speed caps and other restrictions. Normal users end up paying way too much for more data than they'll ever need. And they get stuck paying for the heaviest users, right? So with this advertisement, it looks like that the founder CEO of MobileX, Peter Adderton, is really kind of giving people insight on just like how the telecom market is and how and why you're charged these amounts and what does it actually pay for. So he kind of like throws that in there, and we got to give it up to Peter Adderton because he's very vocal about it. Like a lot of people quickly jump to say that Peter acts like John Ledger. And while their tactics on social media are similar, there is a little bit of a difference. Peter kind of gives people an inside glimpse of like actually what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to these telco companies. So much respect and shout out to him. All right, so if you've never heard of MobileX, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos or my podcast talking about it, MobileX basically it generalizes and you control what you use and what you pay for, right? So their leading plan, their leading services is not an unlimited type service, it's not a tiered service, it's not a bucket data service. It is pay for what you use. So if you were to go on MobileX, try out their services, and what would actually happen is, because it is AI guided, so there is artificial intelligent algorithm like computing that basically looks at how you're using your phone and can predetermine about what you would use in 30 days. Kind of gives you an idea of like how much data you're going to use generally. But you got to use the way you normally use it. See, that's the key thing when it comes to MobileX. Like some people are like, yo, this thing said I'm going to use 65 gigabytes of data. Well, absolutely. If you're not connected to any form of Wi-Fi while you're in that 10-day learning period, if you don't connect to any form of Wi-Fi and you're like, oh, okay, this is a testing period, I can use as much data as I'm going to use as much data as I want. No, this is the reason why that the 10-day learning period had changed up. The very first version didn't really have a limitation to how much data you used when using it in that learning period. Now there kind of is a limitation because there are people who just signed up for MobileX and like, I'm never connecting to home Wi-Fi again, and started like watching videos, movies, and everything from it in the highest resolution capacity that their phone can support. They were doing speed testing to say, hey, this is what MobileX gets, when it's pretty much Verizon. That's who they're using. They're an MVNO on Verizon, and all this sorts. So I'm going to say this off jump. If you're going to try out MobileX, try and let the AI determine what you use in a month and kind of give you that result. Then use your phone how you normally do. If you're always when you're at home, then connect to the damn Wi-Fi at home and use your phone like you normally would. Because that's what it needs in order to get you the most accurate result to tell you like, hey, this is what we predict your 30 days. Then you need to use your damn phone the way you normally do it when you're on Metro, on Boost Mobile, on whatever else unlimited prepaid postpaid carrier you're on. You need to use the phone the same way you always have. Now, if you're someone that's like, I never connect to Wi-Fi, I don't even have home Wi-Fi. Well, granted, then at that point, you're using the phone the way you normally, whatever predictions it gives you in that 10-day trial period, then it's going to be the most accurate. But in that 10 days, it's going to tell you about exactly how much data you use. Okay. Now, because I have home Wi-Fi here, when I used it, it predicted me using about 7.7 gigabytes of data a month. Okay. So basically the base plan of it is that unlimited talk and text is $4.50 odd cents. Okay. Then you're paying about $2 a gig. Right. So if you think about it, what would it be? $2 a gig, $14 for data side, $4.50. So about $20 is what I would pay a month for that much, for about 7 gigs of data plus unlimited talk and text. Now, the cool thing about MobileX is that if you don't want talk and text. Maybe all your messaging is done on Telegram. Maybe all your messaging is done on Facebook Messenger. It's done on some sort of chat app that also has video and VoIP calling through the app itself, right? So you don't need to get a phone number to give to people for messaging and stuff like that. Well, with Mobile X, you can actually choose an option to not have phone calls and text messages, where it's just strictly data dependent. And then in that case, I would be paying like almost $15 a month for 7 gigs of data. Okay, so they have that, right? You can go as high as you want. You can, if you got the money to burn, because I can tell you start using over 10 gigs, it's gonna get pricier this way. Granted, that's true. It's gonna get pricier that way. So they do have their own versions, you know, for those people that are just not into the whole pay for what you use, because here's the U plan. So you guys see right here, so it's $1.99 for a 30-day access in. Data pricing is $2.10 per gigabyte, calculated by the customer AI data use forecaster. Data speeds are unrestricted. Unrestricted. So like people are like, what's that mean? Yeah, you're not going to get throttled or any of that, or yeah, your speeds are going to maintain, right? There is a data optimizer, so you can actually control how your data is used. And this what I mean by like the data optimizer has to do with video playback. You can choose the video playback option. You can choose to have your videos play on your device in 480p, 720p, 1080p, and even in 4K. Your choice. But just remember, the higher the resolution that your video streaming is, the more data you are using to do that. You get visual voicemail, surplus data forwarded, right? Talk and text options. So $4.50 for unlimited talk and text. Maybe you want just a little bit of talk and text, but you don't need unlimited because you barely make regular phone calls. You do everything through like Snapchat, Instagram messaging, or Telegram, WhatsApp. So then you can get 150 minutes of calling, 150 text for $2.50. You want to go lower than that? 50 minutes of talk, 50 text messages, you can do it for $1.50. And then again, like I said, no talk, no text, $0. And yeah, all you're really going to pay is that $1.99 30-day access, and then $2.10 per gigabyte. That's if you go on the U plan. If you go on this plan that, you know, is controlled by you, personalized access, controlled by you. No, I didn't want to do that. But they also have these two right here. If you want something similar to what you're already getting out there in the prepaid market, they got two plans, $20 for 15 gigabytes of data. So that's very close to what I was already getting, determined by the AI, right? The AI determined 7.7 gigabytes. So like my plan with talk, text, and 7 gigs of data would have been about $20. That's why I said, like, you know, they have their unlimited plans, which, you know, seem to be better than that. And that is $20 a month for data. Talk and text is unlimited. You get 15 gigabytes of priority data access. Okay. So this is kind of like what it shows you what it would look like. And then they have a, you know, double the data amount. So going from 15 gigs to 30 gigabytes for $25 a month. So it's a $5 difference. $5, 25. There is some data caps, right? They also obviously got to tell you that there is some data caps. You will get slowed down when you use the 30 gigs or the 15 gigs of data. There you will be slowed down. So offer applies to new customers only. 5G service requires compatible device. 5G is not available everywhere. After high-speed monthly data allotment is exceeded, speeds will be reduced to 512 kilobits per second for the remainder of the access period. So Mobile X stating that if you pass 30 gigs on their $25 plan, you will be slowed down to 3G speeds. This is the same thing that Boost Infinite is saying. Boost Infinite says that when you pass your 30 gigs of data, you're slowed to 512 kilobits per second. I can say that Boost Infinite, when you're slowed down to 128 Like my wife her line is already throttled. She's already throttled on the on her plan, on her Boost Infinite plan. She's already throttled down, and it's 128 kilobits per second. She can't even really. She can launch things like Twitter and stuff like that, and kind of like go through it. Of course, it's slow because it takes time for like the feed to update on Boost Infinite. So yeah, 5G speeds is manageable, especially today. You know, we're getting used to 5G connectivity, so 3G speeds is manageable. You'll still be able to watch videos because think about it. Way back in the day, before 4G LTE was even available, we all had 3G devices and we were watching YouTube on our phones. Of course, there were low resolution videos, right? Like 240p resolution videos, or maybe like 166, something like that. But still, you're able to still do certain things, which, most importantly, launch your banking apps to unlock debit cards if you're going to do transactions and everything like that. And you tend to lock your debit card just to make sure that no unauthorized transactions are processed through your debit card. My wife does that, and she's very, she's always on top of that. So it annoys her that right now with her speeds being throttled, it's in some places it's hard for her to complete a transaction. And I usually, I understand, like some people would be like, why doesn't she just unlock her card before she goes into the store? Well, we could be grocery shopping. It might take us like an hour to grocery shop, and maybe something tries to hit her card in that moment and take some money out of it. So like she doesn't unlock her card until she's ready to pay. But of course, in some places you may not have the best reception. So being throttled without the best reception means you're going to be at that self-checkout kiosk for like a lot longer than you expected, holding up the line for everybody else. Yeah. So with this, I'm actually going to test this out. I'm going to test this out to see what kind of speeds, that we get when we are on when we use the 30 gigs of data. Of course, I would have to use the 30 gigs of data, and MobileX's data calculation doesn't seem whack. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't watch a lot of videos when I'm out and about and I'm on regular mobile data. I don't watch a lot of videos on YouTube and stuff like that. Maybe like to kill time if I have like a 5-minute wait at the doctor's office, or maybe just, waiting for my wife to do something really quickly. I sit in the car and wait. I may just, pop open Sneed's video or, Carlos's video, just kind of watch to see what's happening. But that's about it. Like I'm not watching like a lot of stuff on YouTube on the mobile data. So I'm probably going to have to do that in order to try to burn 30 gigabytes of data, because for me, the 25 plan is probably going to be like the best choice for now. Just because I need it. And that's and I know that's the mind frame that Peter Adderton is trying to break on a lot of customers. It's like, you really don't need that. Just, go ahead, be comfortable with the For You plan. You know what I mean? But I also do things like live streaming, stuff like that from my phone. So it would just make more sense, because me personally, I've done the AI and I know exactly what I use in a month. I would be considered using quite a bit of data. It's like 22.5 gigabytes of data a month. I might as well be on the $25 plan. But MobileX is actually pretty cool about it, because if none of what they're offering is a best fit for you, they will help you find somebody that fits you. So if you were on, if you try MobileX and you did the 10-day trial and you're like, you know what, like, no, I'm going to go this way, or I'm going to go that way, whatever the case may be. They'll be like, okay, well, let's help find you. Let's help find you something. So there's a lot of cool things about MobileX, and, they tell you about, the phone compatibility. So any device that, for iOS, so iPhone 6s and all the way up to the 15s. For Android, and I like how they put for Android, all Google Pixels. All Google Pixels are supported for MobileX. However, let's see, devices sold through carriers are not supported for eSIM activations. So you have to have an unlocked Google device in order for the eSIM to work. Samsung, Galaxy S10 and later. For the A series, Galaxy A52 and later. So my A53 would actually work. For Motorola, the Edge 2020 and later. The Moto G 2020 and later. And the ThinkPhone 2022 from Motorola is compatible. With OnePlus, it's the OnePlus 8T and later. That's compatible with MobileX. And LGs are not compatible at all. Wow. talking about throwing shade on LG because LG exited the market. They they're not compatible. So sad. So sad. So sad. But anyways, yeah, so this is Mobile X. Okay. I honestly feel like that for those people that want to save some that, you know, some bills, you know, like save some money. I honestly think that this is the best one to go to save some money, especially, you know, if you're not using a lot of data. Like for me personally, I know there's a lot of people that don't use so much data. I know this because I worked at Consumer Cellular. I've spoken to a lot of people that would go and get Consumer Cellular's unlimited plan. And I'm looking at their usage when they call in for help, for assistance. And I'm looking at their usage and, you know, they're like 28 days into their bill cycle. They have the unlimited plan, but they've only used like 1.7 gigabytes of data. And when I talk to them about their usage, they're like, oh yeah, you know, I just go on my phone to check the news. I check some emails from, you know, my family, and that's it. And I'm like, you don't really need the unlimited plan. I can lower your bill per month by putting you on this. And for me, you know, quite honestly, now that Mobile X is here, and I don't work for Consumer Cellular, so I'm not bound to any, you know, like any laws with them, like laws with working for companies. But if someone from Consumer Cellular was like, hey, you know, I'm paying this much a month for this much data usage, I would tell them get Mobile X. This is going to suffice. I mean, it's on a reliable network. It's on a reliable network that you know will get you some access. The data speeds are, you know, they're not capped. They're not squeezed and throttled when you're on the pay for what you use. And literally, you're paying for what you use. And if you don't want a phone and you do everything through, you know, say like the person has an iPhone and they use FaceTime for phone calls and stuff like that. They have their Apple Cloud email address. They don't need a mobile phone number attached to do that. They don't need a mobile phone number to be able to do iMessage. So don't get a phone number. Just pay for data. You're on Wi-Fi at home. You're connected to that. You use that to make all your phone calls. You leave your home. You use it to make FaceTime calls and to send messages to your contacts. There are ways. Mobile X is the most flexible MVNO that's out there currently today. They are the most flexible, right? You flex your plan out however you want on the pay for your use or the personalized used plans. But they also got you with these $20 15 gigabyte plan and $25 30 gigabyte plan. So there's something for everybody on Mobile X. Now, so I said, if you're not familiar with Mobile X, definitely go to their website and check it out. It's really easy to go to their website. I'll put it in the chat, but it's mymobilex.com. That is the link. mymobilex.com. Definitely check it out. And you can see for yourself. Shout out to Peter Adderton, you know, for developing something like this, right? Because, you know, Peter has had his fair share of stuff here in the United States, right? Founder of Boost Mobile Australia, founder of Boost Mobile US, founder of Amp Mobile, founder of Mobile X. So salute to him. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys so much for that. For those that do want to show your support and helping out the channel, definitely, you know, you can do that if you want to. You know, it's not expected, but the QR code is up there on the top left. That any donos go straight to my PayPal. So yeah, definitely click that QR. And if you want something rather than just giving a donation, but if you want something for it, check out my store. Wait, where did my ad for my store go? I didn't even save it. Yeah, because it crashed yesterday. But this is a QR code to for donos. Why did it not save it? That's so strange. Anyways, I'll get that put up there, but I'll put the link later on in here if you guys want to check out my store for merch and stuff like that. Got some cool t-shirts, but these are only going to last until the end of the year. After that, the designs are going to change, and yeah, looks like the audio crashed, but okay. I paused the music because I don't know if it's going to crash again and go, and I don't want to blow no one's eardrum. So yeah, anyways, I appreciate you guys for being in here. Thanks for hanging out with me. You guys are clutch. If there's anything that comes out tomorrow, I'll be up on here tomorrow, or I might just take a little break and just upload a couple of videos. Be on the lookout for that. If you're on the Dedicated Pixel channel, thank you so much for being a subscriber to the channel. Appreciate you guys so much. I'll get back to adding some videos. I haven't posted any in like a couple of days. I've just been dealing with a lot of things, but I'll get some videos going here. Okay. You don't see any of those. Okay. Yeah. I think with that, the company that I use to make the shirts for me, I'll see if they have larger sizes and I'll add it to that. So just give me a few days and check back with it, and then I will get that updated. I got to go in there and see if because when I set all that up, they didn't really have too much in size options. So I think like the biggest they had was like 2XL as their biggest size. So I'll see if they've added more sizings to that, so that way I can have sizes for anybody out there that wants to buy a shirt, or a hoodie, or crew neck, long sleeve, whatever. Yeah, definitely. My favorite is always going to be the Team Nexus Team Pixel shirt. That's my favorite. I designed that one myself. You guys can tell, I'm not very good at designing t-shirts, but yeah, I have some people that are willing to come up with some designs and stuff like that. And of course, stay tuned to social media, because starting next year, when I release my new line of merch, I'm actually going to be showing you guys some of the designs and letting you guys vote on which ones. So you guys will start seeing that. But okay, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks for coming in this morning. Appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you on the next one. And as always, law.